Hello everybody, it's Scott O'Mato, and in this video I want to give you a quick start guide to the production industries in the mod Dooglamoo Cities for Minecraft. I have done a deep dive series of which many videos have been produced that cover each one of these blocks in deep detail. And I do suggest that you watch them if you really want to understand how this mod works. But I do want to do a quick start video on these resource industries for those that are a little bit impatient and just want to get going. So let's take a look, guys. All right, so there is two types of blocks that do production in Dooglamoo Cities, and there are resource industries that provide an output, a product output like a crop or animal products or wood, things of that nature. And then there are manufacturing industries that do a form of autocrafting, or they may cook items for you or produce coal or charcoal, things like that. Do mining for you. That's part of a resource industry. So the manufacturing industries will manufacture an end product for you. For instance, the blacksmith will make blocks of iron and it'll make iron tools. Let me get away from the animals. Let me actually quiet them down a little bit. They're being a little rambunctious at this time. Let's turn down the friendly creatures. And they are quite friendly. All right. So we do have a ranch here, and I'm going to quickly make a mention of it. Let me go over each one just quickly. This is the farm. The farm is a 4-chunk idea in each, or a 4-chunk unit. It can plant up to 4 chunks. This is a full farm, as much as can be handled by the mod. And you configure every one of these industries in the block itself. So this acts as like a filter, okay, that says I'm planting seeds, I'm getting wheat. Wheat was just pulled out. I'm planting potatoes, then I'm planting carrots. The order that you put them here is the order they get planted. You can see I have a vast abundance of carrots because it just produced a bunch of carrots there for a while. Then it'll pull its iron tools and such from some of the crafting industries as well. But it does auto planting, auto harvesting, and it does have some balancing game mechanics where it can run into a drought and the water blocks can disappear. All right. Now here in the ranch also has that same pattern layout. A 4-chunk area with borders around it, and it will auto place fences for you, and it will auto capture animals that move into this area and partition them off of pigs and cows, sheep and rabbits, horses, which horses, it doesn't do anything, it'll just capture them, and then chickens. All right, and they may not necessarily be in these pens, but that's how they're kept together. All right, and it is a block that you place into the world as the other ones are, that will configure itself, and it will kill the animals to get meat, and it will get wool, it will get leather, it will get feathers, it will get eggs, all from the animals. And it requests wood and stuff when it gets started building. It'll get rabbit hide, raw rabbit, and it'll build out itself, okay? And again, I just encourage you to go to each one of these videos and see that. This is the Mineshaft. It is a single chunk, so it only takes up a 16 by 16 area. So you're seeing actually 3 mine shafts here. So these are the Mineshaft blocks. They will request tools, stone tools, and then iron tools as they get to the deeper levels. They will prefer iron in the beginning. So if you have something producing iron, you need to be aware of that. But they will put down ladders and dig mine shafts for you, and the mine shafts will connect amongst chunks. So let's take a look at the structure quickly of one of the shafts right here. So it digs these shafts and it'll cover the whole chunk, and you do need to light it. It doesn't place these torches. It will only place torches here in the main tunnel. So you will need to light these areas, but it will go all the way down to bedrock, and it will automatically gather all of the ores and resources that it finds. The vanilla ones are configured. You have to configure modded items if you do have modded ores in your world. And so that's basically the mine shaft. It digs almost like a person would dig, putting ladders, lighting this main tunnel, and then doing branching off. And then, as mentioned, when you have two of these together, then they connect to each other. So let me get up. Okay, those tunnels will connect to each other. So one miner, okay, guy, you need to get on there. Thank you. Will connect to the other. And it can leave these places where it mines, so you need to be aware of that. So that's another part of the miner that connected to each other. All right, another block here is the quarry. And the quarry will dig a 12 deep 4-chunk area, and it will get coal and it will get iron as it goes, and dirt, stone, gravel, granite, andesite, diorite, all of those, sand, and clay. Okay, and so gather them into this block here. It will get stone or iron tools, and that's actually the mine shaft. Sorry, guys. Over here is the quarry, and it will get stone or iron tools and produce all the items and put them into its inventory. Each one of these has an inventory of the size of a single chest that it stores items, but you use other blocks to pull the items out and store them. All right. Whereas this one here is just an example of the fishery. It doesn't have to be configured this way. It just needed 64 blocks of water. Usually you're going to put it on a stream or something like that, on a river, and it will get all the fishing. It does an auto fishing for you. So it gets enchanted books here. It will get all the treasure stuff as well as fish. Okay. So it will get all the different types of fish, and then the junk items like sticks and lily pads and string and stuff like that. All right. And this guy over here is the lumber mill. Very important block. Very, very easy tree farm to set up that will also make charcoal for you. It'll take some of the wood and burn it off into charcoal, but it'll also supply wood out into the world. Lots of wood. Lots and lots of wood. Also gets lots of saplings. With these oak trees, it will get apples as well. So you just do need to be aware that these big trees can go outside of its harvest area. So you'll need to do a little bit of cleanup, like so. And however I have ore excavation in here. So you may need to do a little bit of cleanup around the edges, but it plants in a certain pattern, quite a number of trees, as you can see, and it's basically this same pattern inside of there. So it's a 4-chunk area that it'll plant the trees, and you can have a mix of different trees. This one's set up just to be oak trees. Now this was the garden. So these are all the plants that the garden can handle. Sugarcane. I'm not seeing my cactus. Cactus must have been used up. It can plant cactus. If you give it a furnace, it will produce dye. So let's go ahead and give it some cactus, because that got behind. It will definitely do cactus. So let's give it a couple. One is producing cactus green from the furnace. That's what you're seeing happen here. And so for some reason it used more cactus than it could plant. So I didn't have any more cactus. But it will do cocoa beans. Pretty cool. It will do melons, pumpkins and melons. It will do tall flowers. And it will take bones in it and convert those to bone meal, where it'll bone meal these tall flowers and then shear them to give you the tools for dye as well. So pretty cool block. It'll do ferns and any of the tall flowers as well. So quite versatile. All right. So that's pretty much it for the resource industries that are in Dooglamoo mods, but it's covering everything, guys. Food, your crafting tools, your mining materials, all of that. Fish, very, very powerful. Now, there is blocks that are connecting aspects. I must insist that you go and watch the detailed videos on these, because The distributor blocks are the connecting blocks, all right? They pull items, in this case, think of this as a filter. This is filtered to gather charcoal, gather wood, gather saplings from the lumber mill over there wirelessly, okay, and push them there. And it's a two-way system. So if the lumber mill ever did run out of saplings, for instance, and this guy had them, then it could provide them back. And it is a connecting unit between these blocks that can also connect to a warehouse block. But again, I must insist that you watch those detailed videos because you'll need to learn about those. But everything is ultimately as an end destination, that stuff that's in products like wheat and what have you is being pulled into this warehouse block, where what configures the incoming items is what is in these chests. So when you set up a chest as such, it doesn't have to be like this, but basically I'm saying giving it spaces, because its goal is to fill out a whole stack, to take one item and fill out a whole stack. That's how it works in the system. So when you lay them out this way, it's going to fill them. So you can see that my charcoal is full right now, but my coal is not. So let me just gather the coal over here. And when I go here, I'll get another, 6 stacks of charcoal here from the distributor, who's backed up right now. The distributor's backed up. And that would mean that the lumber mill's backed up with charcoal here. See, so they are backed up. Now, I could just get rid of the furnace and not have it produce charcoal. That's one thing you can do once you've got plenty of charcoal. All right. But this warehouse, again, acts as a storage place. You can see here in my tooltips what's stored. And you can also see that I can use modded chests. All right, so this is RF Tools modular storage. This is diamond chest from iron chests, and it's filling out these stacks. Okay, that's why some of these stacks have a few items, some of these stacks have more. That's what's coming in. It's configured by what is in the chest. Now, what's going out is configured here in the warehouse block itself. This is the warehouse block, and what's going out is configured in that. And again, it tries to keep a full stack if it can. So that's why you're seeing 64 of these. Now these guys, it can, but there's other blocks calling for it. Okay. So I have 2 warehouse blocks here. They take up an 8x8 area. So you can have 4 within a chunk. There's some important tools in Dooglamoo that you'll want to get. One is the City Planner Guide. All right. And oops. Come on, trackpad. There we go. City Planner Guide, and it will tell you all the details about all the blocks. What size they are, what kind of food they need, what times they're active, what they request, okay, what they produce. So input, output. And it'll tell you on all the blocks, okay? And you'll need that. And then there's another block called the Survey Tool that will show you the links between items. For instance, I can now see that there's just these number of distributors, this Blacksmith, Warehouse, Carpenter, all within range of this. These distributor blocks have an 85 block range, so quite a distance. But then the survey tools also show you the active areas of blocks. So if I shift right click on a block, I can see its active area. It's technically not true on this one because it's a 4x4. But generally, that's true. I guess it's just showing you the chunk that it's in, to be honest with you. The chunk layout that block is in. I suppose that's what it's doing. Okay, so you will get a lot of messages in chat from this, of these blocks communicating. So these are, let's start with some of the manufacturing industries now and just get a brief overview of them. All right, so this is the Carpenter. The Carpenter produces wood planks. Now you can see the Carpenter produces tons and tons of wood planks because it's getting wood from the lumber mill into the distributor, and then it's making wood planks. So here we have stacks and stacks of wood planks. So I'm going to go out and make even more and more stacks of wood planks because that guy just goes crazy producing wood planks. Now keep in mind, they make money doing this, which is why it's a continual production thing. But by putting a lever on it, I can turn it off. Now, it's not a good idea in what I have here. This was an early setup to have this distributor and this carpenter back to back with levers on them, because if I turn off the distributor, or if I had a lever here and I turned it off, it would affect the other block as well. So the blocks do need some separation. But anyway, that's the carpenter. It produces stone tools and wooden planks. Okay, stone tools and wooden planks. So it gets cobblestone, it gets wood. All right, this is the blacksmith. The blacksmith produces iron tools and blocks of iron. He is turned off at the moment, so you're not seeing the full suite of tools, but it will just use up your iron to produce iron blocks. Now, some of the large towers require that, so that's something new that you may want. All right, and then the bakery will produce bread, cooked meats, cooked fish, and cooked meats. You're seeing these here because they're not configured to go anywhere right now. The fish is not, but the meats are. So it'll produce tons and tons of meats. It's basically filled this whole double chest almost with the meats that it gets from the farm or from the ranch over here. So the ranch feeds that, and this is the distributor for it. Now, I do want to mention in this video, although it's a little advanced for those new to it, that this is a food chest. This is configured for food. So I can turn this off. It has a choke point, so these guys won't get fed if there gets to be too many. So I do have all my food organized into a food chest there. Whereas in this case, I have ores organized, okay, and a lot of cobble. But there is an additional distributor, I believe this guy, that has a lot of the raw resources for dirt and cobble and such that would come from the quarry. All right. Now let's just go ahead and look at some of the other industries. Here we did the bakery. This is a distributor. We did the mine shaft. Let's look here at the craftsman. The craftsman's producing bricks and glass, and yeah, that's basically it, bricks and glass, and then it can dye the glass if you need to make stained glass if a building calls for it. This is the stonemason. The stonemason will make stone bricks, and it will make polished versions of the other stone variants. So polished granite, polished diorite, polished andesite. And it obviously gets those from the quarry or from the mine shaft. And then this is the textile. The textile will make carpet from wool from the ranch, and it will also make books. Now, for some reason, it's not making very many books. Let's see what that's all about. Got sugar cane. It gets sugar cane from here, and then it gets leather. So leather should be configured over here, I believe. Yes. And we should have leather. So not quite certain what the deal is with that. So we definitely need to configure an out. See, there's leather right there. So this guy, I must have turned him off is what it was. He's off maybe. No, he's on. So I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that to see what the bottleneck is. But that is the one for the textile. All right. And what else we got? What else do we got? These are distributors. This distributor is mainly configured for the garden, cocoa beans, melons, apples. I'm going to say that's it, guys. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to say that's it. So fishery. So here we've got, again, let's just stonemason. Not the liver, the craftsman, the bakery, the textile, the blacksmith, and the carpenter. Okay? So that would be the manufacturing industries. And as you can see, you could put 4 into one chunk. So that's basically the overview, guys. It's a quick overview of a long ongoing project. Keep in mind that I have deeply described each one of these blocks and how they interconnect. So I do encourage you to spend the time if you are interested in this mod to learn it. But I did want to give a quick overview for those that are brand new to it and want to just see if they're interested in what this mod can do. But it is amazing in automation, guys, and these blocks are very inexpensive, just mainly costing like cobblestone in a 4 corners. Let's look at a quick recipe, and they're almost all based on that. Like, let's just go to Dooglamoo real quick. Oops, let me put the at in front of it. There we go. Like, the farm is 4 cobblestone and a seed, and you get an automated farm. 4 cobblestone and a piece of wood, and you get an automated tree farm that is wireless, requires no energy, can communicate with other blocks at a long distance, can automatically organize blocks into a warehouse, can do auto crafting, can cook items for you. Just an extremely powerful mod, even if you don't get into the building aspects of it. Anyway, that's going to be it, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it's clear. And if it's not, then I definitely encourage you to look in the deep dive series. And if you don't get what you need from there, then I'll be happy to answer questions. Anyway, this is Scott O'Mato. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.